Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about anything streaming. I'm Clyde. Today I'm joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey everybody.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Hello everyone.
And everybody's laughing and I have no idea what I missed.
I'm laughing because during the intro, you started the stream. And when they started the stream, my phone beeped. I heard two other phones beep over the internet. Yeah, but hey, the stream started. It's like, yep.
Yeah, we all got the email. I forgot to shut down my email.
That's just hilarious.
Yeah, it's
How
funny.
you doing?
Hey, we're back. We had some technical difficulties last week, thanks to a wonderful update to Skype. They have this new beautiful interface, completely redesigned. Unfortunately, it was not wanted and does not work with what we were trying to do.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
Microsoft,
you know, things happen. And
you know, Microsoft is all about giving you updates, whether you want them or not.
You know, and I don't know how much... I don't know how much it has to do with me being a Windows beta, because Skype doesn't typically follow the Windows beta, but that might factor into why I got it. I don't know. When I worked with XSplit, I got to give them loads of credit because, you know, you go to their support site, it says you can send them an email or you can contact them on Facebook Messenger. I sent a message expecting, you know, normal business SLA, hear back in an hour or whatever. And I hit enter. I went to close the window and they were already responding. I was like, oh, hi. And they, you know, apparently this is the first they'd heard about it. They offered found a workaround. It's not the greatest workaround, but it works. And, you know, hopefully they'll figure out, you know, being the technical geniuses that they are, they will figure out what's going on. And
in other words, your XSplit guys are awesome.
They
very
are
much thanks to them for we couldn't have done the show without them, quite frankly.
No. Oh well, you know, the WebEx turned out it would have worked. Still not something I want to screw around with too much if we don't have to. But yeah, they're really, you know, when pushed into panic mode and forced to switch to something else, you find out very quickly that there's a reason everybody's using Skype, because it's kind of the only option.
Well, we did look into some other options, and some of them are okay.
But yeah, each one there was some sort of drawback with each one. So yeah, you know. But hey,
I was so hoping for Talkie.io. It would look really cool, but no, didn't work.
Yeah, you know. But hey, we're back. We are live. Yeah. We should talk about some stuff. I think we're overflowing at this point.
We have a little bit of news if we're going to catch up from last week, and we're going to start with a story about YouTube TV. And we got it coming into some new markets. It's now hit an additional 34 markets and now has a grand total of 84, which means that very likely where you live, you can now try YouTube TV. If you can also try Hulu, that's fine. Nobody's going to stop you. Which is pretty awesome, because a lot of people have been saying, I want to try it, but it's not in my area yet. And now they've got just about everywhere.
Yeah, that's great, but that leads into the next story and the fact that you can watch it in all of those places as long as it's not a Roku or an Apple TV.
Right, they were gonna have it out by the end of this year, is what they said, that they were gonna have it out for those two platforms. And now they've come out and said, we're delaying. It's not going to be done in time by the end of the year. So early 2018, they should have those two apps. But remember, you can still watch it on your Chromecast and on your Apple TV if you decide to do Apple Stream, the mirroring, screen mirroring. And you can also do it if you have an Xbox One. So yeah, it's and Android TV. So it's coming. They're working on it. It has taken a long time, and we'll see if it can pick up by the time that it actually shows up next year.
Yeah, well, that's the two boxes I own. So whenever they bother releasing that app, then maybe I'll give them a try.
Yeah, well, those are two very popular boxes, and it's not on Fire Stick. I wonder why.
But that actually leads into another story, if we jump ahead a little bit, in the fact that Firefox is now available on the Fire TV.
Yeah, you probably heard about this little, quibble between Google and Amazon, where they're talking to it, like, hey, start selling our stuff and put your service on our boxes. And Amazon's like, no, we're just not going to sell your stuff at all. And so Google came back and said, fine, we're taking YouTube away from your stuff. At which point they said, okay, we'll start selling your stuff again. And Apple's too. And then they came back today and said, and we're going to let people put browsers on ours, and the browsers can play YouTube because they're browsers.
But that's not necessarily true because, one thing I didn't get to point out was Google right now is doing exactly what was done to them with Google TV initially. Remember when Google TV came out, they said, hey, here's this box. It's got a browser. You can do anything you want with it. And then everybody said, oh, hell no, you were not watching our content on your TV. And so what they did was they blocked any traffic that on a browser, because the browser tells the site where it's coming from and said, oh, you're on a Google TV, sorry, you can't watch this. And I have a feeling that Google's going to learn from what was done to them, and they're going to do the same thing. Yes, it is Firefox. Yes, in theory, they will be able to go to YouTube, but when they get to YouTube, YouTube will see, oh, this is Firefox running on a Fire TV. Oh, nope. So, if it works, awesome. But I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah, I think Clyde's right, because a lot of that has what they want to be able to do is collect these statistics, of who's viewing and that kind of thing. To where if they're doing it in a browser, they might not be able to do that. So they want to be able to channel all that through their app and collect all those statistics, because they're going to sell commercials or whatever else, to have access to that audience, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like that it's going to be hard for them to get that, because the browser provides that information to the website for compatibility reasons. The browser says, hey, I am Chrome, but I'm running on a Mac, so that the website knows, oh, I need to handle things differently, right? And so,
I'm going to be the optimist here, and I'm going to say that I think this will all get figured out before it becomes too big of an issue. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I agree. I don't think this is going to be an issue for long, but I don't think the Firefox is going to be the savior that some people are hoping it will be.
I think that we already have Amazon saying, yes, we'll sell your stuff on the stores, which I think was illegal for them not to anyway. So,
no.
And they're already... No. See, they were preventing third parties from selling Chromecasts and Apple
TV. As a business, you can control what, if you have a consignment shop and people want to sell pornography in your consignment shop, you have the right to say no. And you don't have to give a reason. You can just say, I don't want you to sell that in my store.
Well, if you ask me, it was very much,
anti-competitive practice. And it was done in bad. I mean, the motivation behind it was bad. I agree. Exactly. But they have the right to, sell or not sell whatever they want for whatever reason. It doesn't matter.
I would agree with that, except for the fact that they're just being the front page of other stores, and other stores may want to sell whatever they want for whatever reason. So who's got the right to allow it or not? Is it Amazon who has the right to say no?
Talk to eBay, because eBay, people used to be able to sell adult toys and drug paraphernalia and stuff like that, and they're not allowed anymore. You can't even list that stuff. If you do, it'll get taken down. And
that's right. They could go ahead and do that for items that are illegal, which absolutely
no. Adult toys are not illegal.
That's true. I'm surprised they're not down there. I'm sure they're
like I said, there used to be an adult section, and then they said nope, not anymore, and then they took all that stuff down. And because they write the terms of service. If you want to sell through them, you have to agree to their terms. If you don't like the fact that they won't let you sell something, you don't have to sell there. No, it's not like that's the only option that people are forced. Now, if people were forced to sell through there and they had no other choice, then Amazon would have a problem in restricting what they're trying to sell.
Well, they're a de facto monopoly because all these shops only sell through Amazon. But let's go past that just for a moment and say that I think this is going to be better because we already have signs of it getting better with Amazon now as their streaming service on Android, and you don't have to go third party to get that on, and they are selling the Chromecast and other devices on there. So it's starting to go back to the way it should be, and that's a good thing. So I suspect before too long they'll figure it out. They'll figure out a licensing deal or something to make this all better in the end. So we won't know because it'll be in the back rooms. But that's what I think. Let's see. My next article for everybody is another YouTube story. YouTube is now available on the Xbox One with a special 4K support and at 60 frames per second. Which means if you are one of those guys who really likes seeing those videos with a really high frame rate, you can now use your Xbox One X to get that extremely butterly smooth display. Now, this is interesting to me because this looks like Apple, going back to our discussion about Amazon, it seems like Amazon's chosen a side and they've chosen to work with Apple. It seems like Google's chosen a side and decided to work with the Xbox because they started putting the YouTube TV on there. Now they got the high-end, high-speed YouTube videos out there, 60 frames per second. It seems like some battle lines were being drawn here. I sure hope this doesn't turn into that idea of a big bad war.
And you say that just because they put the Amazon Prime Video app on Apple TV?
Because they said they're going to put it there, and they didn't say anything about putting on. And for a while there was still this big battle between.
I mean, it is going to be coming to Roku later, right?
The Amazon Video.
I mean, not Roku.
YouTube.
The other platform that I can't think of.
PlayStation?
No.
The Switch?
I don't know. Anyway.
The PSP that fits in your pocket? Oh, he's thinking of it's the last video game system that he used, which was the Atari 2600.
Oh, I thought it was the Pippin.
Well, that was the last one I used.
I would love to see YouTube on the Atari 2600. Really big blocks.
But the problem is, every video you go to play, you fall in a pit.
Or you start wondering, where's the paddle so I can play Breakout? Come on.
Right. But, going along that line, the Amazon video Prime Video app on Apple TV was #1 download.
Oh, yes, very much so. It seems like some people wanted something on that device.
Apparently so.
So I'm excited that the YouTube is getting the 4K and the 60 frame per second support out there. Get it on more devices at Google. You can do it.
Yeah, hey, we can make my already crappy-looking YouTube videos look even more crappy when you upscale them to 4K.
and it could be an infrastructure thing, too, that maybe they just want to roll out on a limited number first until they get the infrastructure in place.
That's possible. And, we don't know from the way back here in the trenches of exactly what's going on. So it's very possible that it's all benign, normal things going on. So,
yeah.
Continuing on Google news, we have another story about Google's. They've introduced a new version of the Google Home. This time they went to the max with the Google Home Max speaker. It's $400, which is a little pricey, but it's the first Google Home speaker to give you stereo and really big speakers. Well, not big, but bigger than the other ones by a long shot.
I mean, I suppose there's probably somebody out there that's gonna see this and say, yes, me. I don't find a use for it. It's one of those things where, headphones and desktop speakers are usually fine. If I want better sound, then I will invest in a really better, not slightly better. I imagine that thing probably sounds like the stereo coming from the speakers in my doors in my car, which maybe not even as good.
Reviews are saying that actually the sound is really good.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The sound from the speakers in my car are really good.
Probably really good. Good point. Okay.
And they're small on the same, about the same scale. Probably a little bit bigger, but.
Well, I mean, yeah, I tend to agree with you there a little bit, Clyde. That coming out with these things, I mean, it's supposed to be for an assistant, right? I mean, the personal digital assistant is what this is supposed to be, and putting that high fidelity of a speaker into a device like this, I mean, that seems like you're just trying to find a niche.
Well,
there.
I mean, I know what they're getting at. I know that they want people to listen to Google Play Music over there, so I can say, "Hey Google, play me a song," and then it's going to play some music on Google Play Music now. Hey, it's playing REM, I think. Okay, hey Google, stop music. But they wanted
everybody else is going.
Exactly, and that's my point. They want you to do that with better sound. But so there's somebody that's not going to want a giant stereo like me and Jimmy, and that will probably work good in like a living room
well, and see, now you're getting to my point there, Clyde. So what I'd like to see them do it, rather than try to shoehorn this into this digital assistant device, right? Why not make a smart home theater system? Build that into a home theater system, and then you'd have that high fidelity.
Well, and I think
and you'd have more headroom to actually have that higher price device.
You can already do that with the regular Google Home. It's got the audio out, so it doesn't. Oh, I thought you could.
The Mini does not. The regular does not. This one does not have an audio out, but it does have an audio in, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, how you get? It's got that one port for audio out. Are you going to be able to get 5 channels through that?
Oh yeah. Like most computer five channel audio can be sent out over the 3-pin mini headphone. So like if you look, like I've got 5.1 sitting on my desk here for my computer, and it's just got one single mini headphone jack that's got the three rings. So
the chip inside that guy can handle the processing of doing surround sound and all that.
Yeah, because I mean you're sending it out.
I mean, I really don't know, but
because
I would question how well that works.
Because it's going out like ones and zeros at that point, I guess. I don't know. Because I always thought that was because the bass comes out over the one channel and it's stripped out with the crossover. So then but.
So also the Google solution is to this, guys, is for you to buy a Chromecast audio and use that to connect to your big audio system, which does have your standard 8-inch jack out for your standard headphones or emulated 5.1 sound, or that same jack is also a optical jack as well, just like many of the Apple projects can do.
But what kind of chip do they have to process all that with?
So, good question. I don't know. It's
potato.
Dorito.
Corn. So you're saying corn?
A Dorito. Huh?
Yeah. So, but no, you're able to put one of those behind your machine, and it can do these SPDIF optical out to your nice system if you needed to, and use that and you can then talk to your Google Assistant or any other thing and say, pump it out to my Chromecast audio in this room, and it'll do it. So it can do that. Now, I do agree. I think they should have a sound system for your television and or your entertainment system that you can talk directly to. I think they should be licensing this out to everybody in every way and saying, sure, you want to put Google Assistant in your device, do it. It's free or it's super cheap or whatever.
I think you already can. It's just nobody has really thought ahead to do it.
We've got Sonos, which has got their speaker, which is coming out with both. And
no, I mean integrate the Google Assistant. They've already said, hey, put this into your stuff. It's just nobody has.
Maybe you will see some at CES.
I'm crossing my fingers.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish they'd put their efforts into putting a smart, home theater system as opposed to putting their efforts into this $400 speaker that they coming out with.
Well, and I believe that the Google Home products they're what Google typically does in the fact that they don't make regular products. They make the benchmark product to show everybody else this is the baseline. Make something better.
Do something better.
Yeah, and like Android TV, when they put out the Nexus, it was never meant to be just the box. It was, it was a benchmark. It was this is what the absolute baseline. Nothing lower. Do this, but better, and go wild. And
sounds like a Google apologist to me.
Yeah,
that's me right here.
Coming from the sheeple in Florida.
I was about to say, I'm going to go ahead and bat that one right back to you, Jimmy, by saying you don't think it's a big idea to have a premium speaker with a nice, AI built into it for $400? What do you think the HomePod's going to be?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
And I was not excited about that either. So
not.
No, this is for the audio nerd who thinks that they need to be able to talk to Google, and I agree. This is kind of a niche product, and that's fine. If they sell 100 or 1,000 of them.
Now, if your intent is to blast your children awake with a broadcast of like Flight of the Valkyries or something,
yes.
Then or 1812 Overture, then yeah, put one of these in each of their bedrooms and broadcast it. I could see that as a use, because the anvils. But I don't know. I think they're trying to.
Interesting. I mean, I will admit and say, yeah, it's kind of interesting, and I see what they're trying to do here. I don't know. I just think it could be a better product than
I was going to say
it just doesn't feel enough niche there to really.
I know who the target market is. It's anybody that saw the HomePod and said, you know what? I would buy that. It's those people. Though that is the exact demographic. They're like, no. Don't buy that one. Buy this one. It's white too.
Or gray.
Or gray. Or whatever.
Same colors. Absolutely the same colors.
Exactly.
No, but I think right now the Google Home Mini is just an amazing deal. Especially it's a halfway decent speaker, not great, but better than nothing. And the actual original Home, if you can get that on sale right now, is awesome.
Oh yeah, I saw that it's on sale for like $50 till the end of the year.
What?
I think it is.
Buy the original Home. It's awesome. Sounds amazing.
And that was the thing. I wasn't interested until the Home Mini went on sale for $29. I went, okay. I mean, I was getting I bought them just for the gift cards, which I turned around and put to good use. And then I've been trying the one, and I'm like, okay. I talk to it every now and then. I hear it beep all the time when the TV's going, and it's like, but it doesn't like reply or anything. I just hear it beep, and then, but yeah, like I said, I don't know what I would use that for, so it's not for me.
No, I agree. All right, I've got an interesting story for you guys. You guys remember the PlayStation game called Wipeout?
Sort of.
I remember a PlayStation game called Wipeout.
Yes,
It was
I do remember that. Yeah.
so that game when it came out for the original PlayStation was absolutely mind blowing.
Was that one in the was that the one in the arcade? It was like a sled kind of thing that you raced through tracks. I don't remember.
It's a hovercraft. It might think of it as but anyways, the game Wipeout is coming out next year in VR, which will of course make many people vomit all over their PlayStations in the future. This sounds exactly like the thing that I really wanted. Oh, this is going to be so awesome to be able to put my head, able to watch this, play one track, take the thing off my head, and go, I'm good for a year. I don't need any more. That was too much.
You know, I actually would be interested in trying that because I play a similar game on the Android TV, which is Riptide, which was, I think, the competitor or the follow-up or whatever to Wipeout. But that was ported over. But I would love to. Yeah. I'll try it. So what we're saying is Matt's going to buy a PS4 and then drop another $200 to get the VR stuff, and then we're all going to go over to Matt's house and play it.
Well, you guys can all come up over whenever you want. Other than that, no. I'm not.
But we're not coming over until you have it.
Damn! Now I gotta go buy one. All right, and so here's another thing that happened last week. Just as we were about to start the show, this little piece of nugget of news dropped. T-Mobile has decided that they are going to make a cord-cutting service of some sort. Mm. Basically, they went ahead and purchased a company called Layer 3, which do not get confused with the company Level 3, which I originally thought they...
Well, actually, Level 3 doesn't exist anymore. They were bought by CenturyLink. Carry on.
Okay. That was a big thing when I heard that they bought Level 3. I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, that's huge.
CenturyLink already did.
Yeah. They bought Layer 3, which is a small little service that was serving a small area in Mississippi or somewhere like that. I can't remember. That they are going to take that service and kick it into overdrive and deliver it next year for everybody to totally just ruin the market everywhere. They're going to totally trash all cable TV because that's what T-Mobile does. Now, knowing that T-Mobile has, in fact, in the past, been able to disrupt markets, do you think they could do it again with TV?
Well, I mean, here's what I think, right? I mean, I'm glad to get them as a T-Mobile customer. I'm glad to see them get into this. Currently, we enjoy free Netflix with T-Mobile, mm-hmm. And so, and I don't know, maybe that got them enough traction to where maybe they want to go out and make a bundled service now, right? Bundle it with their service. Would that mean a fee increase? I don't know, perhaps. Well, but if you get a service that's comparable to Netflix or Hulu or something like that along with it, maybe you'd pay an extra $15 for that.
But as W. Scottus 1 points out, I still pay for DirecTV now because I get a sizable discount because it's owned by AT&T, and I'm an AT&T subscriber. So, mm-hmm. Is it too much to think that maybe you'll get a similar deal as a T-Mobile subscriber?
Well, it's interesting because AT&T owns DirecTV. Verizon, they bought some big television company. Which one did they buy? I can't remember.
They went into business with Redbox to stream movies.
Yeah, they did that for a while, didn't they? But no, that's not what I'm talking about. They worked with I forget which company they decided to work with, but they're basically in cahoots with another one of the big streaming companies. Comcast is NBC, and so maybe T-Mobile looked around and said, "Hey, we need to get into the TV business too."
But what's more interesting to me though is what kind of service is this going to be? Is it going to be are they just going to do streaming of existing shows, try to buy content from other places? Or are they going to get into the original content business and start producing their own?
I don't know.
Question. That was not laid out to us by T-Mobile CEO Jean Laguerre.
Nope. I think at this point it's just it was hey, we're doing it too. What are you doing? Thanks. No more questions.
And we're gonna make everything awesome. Okay, we're done now. Bye.
You're welcome.
We're not gonna explain how we're gonna make it awesome. It's just gonna be awesome.
But I'm willing to bet, Jimmy, when they're ready to tell people, you'll probably be the first of us to know.
That's
being a
probably
customer.
true. Yeah.
That is probably true, and as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. But I don't know. Typically, they come out with it. They usually make an announcement whenever it is. Us customers usually don't know any earlier than the rest of you do. Typically.
Yeah. So we have another story. This one is. I feel like I've read this somewhere before. Sounds like that Redbox is coming around and they're launching on-demand video service. Have we heard that before?
I don't know. Wasn't there another company that teamed up with them and then totally got burned and gave up? I feel like we just talked. I don't know.
Didn't that company start with a V?
Maybe.
Nah. It could be that VZ or something, whatever. Vizarion, I don't know, some weird company about that. But they've decided to try again, and this time no word of whether or not they're working with Verizon in order to make this work. But they are working on making their own stream service. Not like we have enough of those. More players, it's all good. They're going to be going in here and be making a new rental service where they can go ahead and get your stuff by your Apple TV, your Chromecast, your Roku, and more devices. And this apparently is coming early this next year.
And the thing that on the surface, I would say they've already failed once, so they had the chance to learn what they did wrong. They have the infrastructure that they built previously that hopefully they have been tinkering this whole time with the goal. But the thing in the back of my head that keeps screaming is the fact that there's still that pending lawsuit with Disney over the download codes that they were trying to sell. That hasn't even gone to court yet.
Yeah.
So are they just trying to say, okay, screw it, we're throwing this out there now because we may not get a chance, and if they go out of business before they deliver, it's not their fault. They can say, hey, Disney took that from you.
I mean, this is sounding more like it's, all this stuff happening all at the same time. I mean, it sounds a bit, like desperation to me. Like this is like a last-ditch effort by them. And I don't know. I mean, I hope they stay in business. And I will say, based on what I read here in the article, I mean, it does seem like they're going more the video on demand streaming as opposed to streaming live, which I kind of like that.
Literally movies, just movies.
Right. So I do like that part of it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to keep themselves in the media so that maybe somebody will come along and buy them. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of sounds like that to me.
Yeah.
I'm all for the scrappy little company trying to, mix things up and doing what they can to survive in this crazy, crazy dog-eat-dog world. So, yeah, let's see them come out and make get the brand recognition of Redbox on the screen and say, hey, you can rent your movie with Redbox, and your movies are 99 cents at 720p or something like that. Whatever they have to do to make this happen. And that's cool.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they do.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see.
Wow. Just a side note, crawling down my wall is the largest, that's not a daddy long leg, that is a mosquito hawk.
Oh, it's not a mommy short legs?
No. Gigantic mosquito hawk.
They usually have a very large abdomen.
I'm going to leave that alone. Moving on.
Arachnophobia?
No, don't kill it. Those things eat mosquitoes. Mosquito hawks are wonderful. They don't hurt you at all. All right, we're going to move on to the fact that now we have a story that actually very saddened me. DirecTV is laying off 700 of their installers as cord cutting is becoming a more popular thing. That means that they went out and picked markets where they cannot find enough work for their installers who are traditionally installing cable and satellite service to buildings and to houses, and they've decided to cut 700 out. The reason why it's sad for me is that I actually know a guy, and that's his job in Central Washington. I hope he's not with one of these 700. I'll have to check out and see if he's okay.
Well, unfortunately, I think that's just a trend that's going to continue.
Well, I mean, that's with any industry. As it, as things shift, you don't need a specific skill set anymore. It's sad. I'm actually surprised it took this long to see one of these stories. But I was not surprised to see that it was DirecTV.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
I mean, because if you're gonna choose between, I think cables, even at this point, cable's going to be more appealing than satellite. So, I think people are universally have figured out that satellite is not typically the best.
I mean, if you're in that line of work and you really want to improve your skill set, I would say learn how to wire fiber optic cable inside of houses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would be beneficial because it's going to be needed everywhere. But general networking skills are really good because the internet's coming and everybody wants it everywhere. So.
See, that's why I got into networking, because number one, it was the area of IT that made me the least angry. And number two, networks aren't going away.
No. Well, eventually.
Not in my lifetime.
Someday, wireless will take over.
But that's still networking. That's still my area of expertise.
But you won't be pulling wires anymore.
No. But that's why I'm saying just networking in general. That's why yes.
Someday. No, not anytime soon, though.
Not until telepathy is perfected.
All right, and we have what I think is our last story of the day, Firefox. Oh, no, wait a second. We already talked about this. That they're now allowing browsers onto the Fire Sticks.
So we burned through 2 weeks of news in record time.
We, in fact, did, which is impressive. I think we stopped for a brief, long chat with Google Home Max, but other than that, I think we went through it pretty quick this week.
Yeah, and since we got a little bit of time, I will. I was talking with Will W. Scottis1 in the chat because when we're talking about the Redbox service, I hope it's better than DirecTV now, or sorry, the Verizon or the T-Mobile one. Because, DirecTV Now, I kept it around because $10 a month with the prorate, and my parents needed something, so I was like, well, this would probably be good for them. At the beginning, it was decent. I can't use it. It's unusable right now. The video just constantly buffering, and I don't know if they just got too many users too fast. They were too successful. But it's unwatchable because I talked about that before in the fact that velocity, but it seemed it was only velocity, so I thought it was a problem with the stream from velocity servers. But now it's everything. You get like a few seconds in and then it's buffering, and it's jarring and it is painful. And if anybody out there was thinking, hey, I really want to get DirecTV Now, which I don't think that is a sentiment that is too popular, but I would say try it. Find a way to try it. Don't jump into it. Because I haven't been able to figure out if it's my Roku. It doesn't like the Roku app. because they still don't have an app for the Android TV. So
Of course not.
I guess I could probably load it in my browser, but I hate watching stuff in my browser.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if DirecTV is going to be the one thing that's still missing on it is the DVR. Now they've had news that they've been sending out more and more.
They made an announcement recently that it's soon. It's like I'm hoping first quarter, but they're at the point where they're ready to roll it out.
It's about time, is what I've got to say. So
I mean, they've been trying it since August. Yeah. So
have you gotten an invite yet to the? No, because they've been sending them out to apparently a lot of them out. No luck for you, though.
No luck for me.
That's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like, out of all of the services we've used, I think I like the DirecTV interface the best. Once I kind of figured my way around, it feels natural to me. But the service is not good.
I'm sorry.
And Wabbit says YouTube TV won't let him run it on his Mac. It doesn't like the video chipset that's in his, or encoder or whatever that's in his computer, and then he gets that HDCP error that you would normally get if you tried to plug a device into your computer.
That's interesting. They should totally. They should be fixing that one way or another, unless it's a very, very old Mac or you have an external display that doesn't support.
I think it's one of those colored clamshells.
Yeah, that's pretty old. Is it the orange or the blue one?
Oh, he said it works, but only at 480p.
Interesting.
So yeah, it won't let him run HD.
That might have to do with their graphics processor of it. I don't know. I don't know enough what's going on, but if it's not working, they should totally be talking to Google about seeing if getting it to work. I'm sure they want it to work too. It still has a floppy drive.
But yeah, and it's, I want to try it, but
YouTube?
Yeah, the YouTube TV, but they need to put it on the Roku.
Yeah, wait for the Roku version. It's coming next year. Can't wait.
Yeah.
And then,
although at the price, I guarantee I'm not going to subscribe. Because I mean, I figured out that it's like $43
for what, YouTube TV?
Yeah, isn't it?
35.
Oh,
35.
or 35. But still, it's I'm not for. I've got the DirecTV that I don't watch. I don't need to pay $35 for something I'm not going to watch either. So,
okay.
But I am excited to try it.
I agree. I very much like it. Although when we get to Rants and Raves, I might be discussing why I might be turning my service off. We'll see.
Wait, when we get there? So what was that you were saying?
Not clear. So I want to talk a little bit about my television situation here. We moved to this apartment like 3 years ago, something like that. And when we did, we had to pick internet access. And basically, as everybody usually knows, there's not many choices out there. So we decided, let's get Comcast because it's actually available. We can get pretty decent speeds from it. That was most important to me. We attempted to keep our dish network, but set up the house the way it was pointing, because we're actually an apartment with apartments next to us is a duplex. So we're in the middle of the duplex. So it's hard for us to get a good view, the right direction, and we have a one of those we are supposed to follow these certain rules for this
HOA.
HOA, yes, yeah. And they frown.
They frown on anything.
I know, but anyway, so we made the decision. Okay, well, let's go to Comcast, and we've been using Comcast ever since. And we have the X1 upstairs in one room, and we have one other TV that we used that's downstairs. But everything else, we don't use it very much as we probably should for the amount of money we have been paying for it. So for a couple weeks ago, I said, hey, I was going to get myself one of those HD home runs, and I got the one that's the Prime, so you'll work with with the cable modem. Mm-hmm. And a couple nights ago, maybe last night, 2 nights ago, I finally got down to the Comcast store and said, hey, I got this device here. I want to try it out. I need a cable card. And they said, oh, that'll be $9.95 a month because it's considered an extra box in your on your thing. I said, I have to pay $10 a month for my own box? And they said, yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Because you got a tuner. It's just like if you wanted to add a tablet to your cell phone account, you have to pay the extra access fee.
Yeah, I call a little bit of BS on that. But that's, it's okay. But she also said, well, let's look at what you're currently paying. And she looked at it and said, well, I can give you a year deal, no commitment, give you all the premium channels. It'll cost you less, including with your additional card. And you can walk away from that deal anytime. After the year, the price will go up. But in the meantime, it'll be cheaper than what you got right now. So I did that. So now I have all the premium channels I could ever want for less money. So it's always good to talk to you guys and see what kind of deals they've got. I also put a calendar reminder 1 year from now to tell can my plan with Xfinity in case I still have it. I sure hope I don't.
You should change it to 11 months. That way you give yourself some warning that, hey, I need to start thinking about a game plan.
Yeah, I did 11 months and a couple weeks. So I now have this amazing service, and I plugged it into this my HD Home Run into my network, and I can now, if I use the HD Home Run app, watch live TV. It's got 3 tuners built into it, so I can watch that, which is pretty nice. But more interesting to me is I plugged it into my Plex server. Now, as everybody might remember, my Plex server is this little portable hard drive with a built-in Plex server. It really doesn't have the guts to do much of that stuff. I've been successful in recording off of it onto the hard drive and then playing it back onto whatever device I want to, but it chugs now doing it this way. So I very much am looking at the possibility of making a different machine my new Plex server, which might be the machine I'm on right now. Maybe, we'll see. It's just that, it's having the ability to say, see a show, record it, and then be able to pull it up on Plex anywhere because I have the remote flexibility. I can go anywhere and be able to remote in and watch my shows. This is the dream. I'm really happy with that. I wish I wasn't paying over $100 a month to Comcast for that and my internet, but I do like the fact that I can get whatever I want and record it and have my permanent copy on my Plex server forever, whatever show I decide to record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did they increase your internet service any at all?
Nope, still 100 megs down, 6 megs up.
With Comcast, you're probably already at the max for the internet speed.
I think I could get it up to 200 down, but I have to pay a whole lot more. So the price jumps a lot. So I'm happy with what the Plex is doing. I'm happy with my HD Home Run and how it can stream stuff for me. I'm happy with a lot of these other little projects that are making cord cutting, my kind of cord cutting right now, possible. I'm really happy with it. I wish I had other options for internet that didn't suck, but it's kind of how the boat we're in. So that's my rant and my rave.
All right, rock on. What about you, Jimmy?
So last week, when we had the technical difficulties, I was going to talk about the what I was labeling the Patreon blunder, right? The deal where they was going to charge us fees and that sort of thing for being a Patreon subscriber. They was just going to make us customers pay for what they get charged on the credit card charges.
No,
right?
Okay.
But that's what they were going to do. But apparently enough of us complained about that, and they have said, nope, sorry, nothing to see here. We are not going to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll figure something else about it, right?
Yeah, those fees were being paid by the creator. So what they were doing was saying, "Hey, we're going to take some of the burden off of you as a creator, and then add those into the fee." And which I understand the motivation behind it, and I see the appeal.
Sure.
But I also see that, not a good idea. So.
It would not have been a problem if they would have just done, hey, we take this much out of your account every month to pay your, whatever your Patreon fees are, and that one time you get your one service fee, which would make perfect sense. I'm sure nobody would have batted an eye except for maybe one guy over there. So this is I cannot stand this, and all you'd have everybody being okay. Instead, they put the fee on every transaction, which there's a lot of people who pay $1 a show.
Right.
For like bi-weekly show.
Well, that's what so the money that I get as a creator, every transaction I pay that fee.
Right.
I'm already paying that fee.
Well,
and so but that wasn't the biggest deal. I mean, that was part of it. If they had just done that just by itself, and then put added the fees onto what they were charging the patrons, I think it wouldn't have been as big of a deal as the other part of it, where they were no longer going to be collecting all of it at the end of the month. They were going to charge you each time throughout the month. And that would have screwed over a lot of people, because I know, like me, I budget for a specific amount of money on a specific day. I can't have them taking random $1 this day, a $5 next week, and $10 just randomly with no warning throughout the month. That was the big, and that was the two, but the two of them together ended up creating this huge, massive blowout.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here was my complaint. Let's say, Clyde, I subscribe to you, and I pay you $1 a month, and then I subscribe to Matt, and I pay him $1 a month. Right?
Woo!
Well, so now they're going to come on. They're going to charge me an extra 35 cents to pay you $1 a month, and then an extra 35 cents to Matt to pay him $1 a month. I get the fact that they're trying to give more to the creator. I get that.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing is, Patreon by design is meant to be kind of like a virtual tip jar, right? So whenever I tip a waiter at the restaurant, I don't say, "Oh, well, let me back out the transaction fees on the credit card charge there, to tip him." No, I just write, "Okay, I want to tip him $5 or whatever it is," right? So that's the thing. What all I'm saying is I'm all for giving the creator more money. It's just that I just think they should have thought it through a little bit more than just say, "Oh, well, we'll just make everybody pay these fees for everybody they contribute to," right?
Yeah. See, basically, what you were looking at is you're looking at taxation, and the end user was paying the taxation. Paying the tax. So it'd be like if you buy a product from a store, they weren't charging you tax; they were taking the tax out of theirs, out of their cut, right? And then, but Patreon moved to a more traditional system where you're paying the taxes. But like in your thing, it's a virtual tip. That's why you never pay. That's why you never tip anybody on a credit card. Never, ever, ever. When you pay for something with a credit card, you never, ever put the tip on there, because they are legally obligated to report that. They have no say. It's already been reported. That's why. And that's why you never tip anybody. Tipping is bad. Tipping is tax. You give gifts. I've got these cards that I carry with me. Libertarian, right? That clearly say, "For providing me with good service and appreciation for the efforts, I choose to make this gift to you." because this is not a tip. Because if you're going to give someone a gift, you have to designate that this is not a tip. This is a gift. You are not required.
that's just tax lawyer semantics, right?
No, but I'm not on the same thing. It led me off onto something else. Just saying, sure. when you eat someplace, make sure you've got cash in your wallet for the gift. Because then when you give them the gift, as long as you tell them that this is a gift, they then legally do not have to report it on their taxes. They get to keep all of it, and it's like up to $10,000 or $12,000 a year, depending on your area. That once you exceed that, then you have to report it, right? And I don't know anybody that makes more than $12,000 in tips. So, yeah, but yeah, I mean, going back to Patreon, I mean, hey, at least they pulled away from that, and now they're going to rethink it and see a better way to do that, right? So I was glad to see them do that. And speaking of gifts, right? I see one behind you.
Yes, there
is that for me?
Yeah. Do you like trains?
Oh, who doesn't like trains?
But actually, that's for my grandson back there. So, so something that I'll share with you. I think I was going to talk about this last week. My father passed away not long ago, and every Christmas he used to give all of us kids and his grandkids. He used to give us all a silver coin. He used to give us one of these. That's a Liberty silver coin, is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm going to continue his tradition. So I've bought these Liberty silver coins and given them away as gifts to my daughter and grandson and my son-in-law. Right. So and just continued the tradition there. So what I would say is, it's a good little thing to give to your kids if you get kids or grandkids, nieces, nephews. These are good little things to give. I think you can buy these on Amazon for about, I don't know, $25 or something like that. So, good little gift to give for the holidays. So that's my rave.
That's very cool.
Rock on. Yeah. How do I get myself added to that list? I like silver.
Tell you what, I'll give it to you as a tip, huh?
No. I only accept gifts. All right. Well, I think I got my rants out earlier with the whole DirecTV and the Skype thing, but there were a couple things that showed up this week that I was super excited about. First one being Jean-Claude Van Johnson has gone live on Amazon. If you guys have not watched it, it is hilarious. It is absolutely funnier than I could have imagined. And even if you don't like Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think it's worth watching. There's a lot of big names that make their way through there, typically playing themselves, because this is, it's biographical. It's him. It's his real life. So,
really?
Yeah. And then also, I started watching American Gods finally on Starz. I didn't know. I listened through the few episodes of Spoiler in Time where they talked about it before Brian lost interest, and I had no idea what to expect. And I went into it. I think I'm about halfway through the season now, and I'm kind of enjoying it. I don't know if you guys have watched it at all.
Nope, not at all.
I think it would be because I signed back up for Starz for this month so that I could watch season 2 of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Mm-hmm. And I burned through that so fast, I was like, okay, I need to watch something else. I started watching American Gods, and I think I'm hooked. And then I watched a pilot for a new show. It's a new J.K. Simmons show called Counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Matt, I think you will like this.
So Stars, right?
It's on Stars. The season starts in January, so they did an early pilot, to get like interest. And I didn't know what it was. I just watched it I had no idea what it was going into it, and I'm kind of glad I had no idea because it's got some surprises. But basically, it starts out. He's like middle management, like working type for some government organization that passes information between agencies, right? So think like Cold War era kind of spy stuff. And then he finds out what's really going on. And, I mean, the cinematics going through the opening were just stellar. The music is great. And the premise of the show, once you get through the pilot, it's kind of cool. If you like stuff like Fringe or, some of those other kind of sci-fi, it's got like spy intrigue and sci-fi kind of all wrapped up in a pretty bow. So I think I might be renewing Stars in January. Well, it's coming out in January 23rd, so I may wait till like February. But yeah, it's if you guys have the chance to, I don't know if the pilot is available outside of the service, but if you can find a way, do a trial or something.
No, we have Stars. So I'll check.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah. Then definitely watch it. And I mean, I was like, J.K. Simmons. Who doesn't like J.K. Simmons?
Oh yeah, J.K. Simmons is the best.
Yeah, and he gets. I'm trying to think of a good way to put this without it being kind of. He has the chance to play two different sides of the same character.
Cool.
So that's kind of cool, But yeah. So if you guys have a chance, check that out. And Wabbit says American Gods is good, and it's another unconventional show, definitely.
I think I'm going to check out Counterpart. This looks really good.
Yeah, and if you haven't, I'd say check out American Gods, but it starts out with a lot of gore. But it is like unconventional sci-fi kind of show with a lot of good names. And I mean, Crispin Glover's in it.
Old Spooky himself.
Exactly. Oh, dude, when you finally get to the point where he's in it and that character, the thing that Stars does that I'm actually enjoying is at the end of the episode, they will do a behind the scenes thing about that episode. And they were with the Crispin Glover one. They explained. They said, "Yeah, we wanted for this character. We wanted a Crispin Glover type, and then, but we wanted someone like him that can like carry him." And they met with him, and he showed up in his like suit and his derby, and the way he explains the way that he kind of floated into the room, took his hat off, and addressed them. And I went, that's how the character, and they said, and so when we wrote this character, we wrote it exactly the way we met with him for the first time because it was perfect. But yeah, because what's his face? Al Swearingen from Deadwood is like main character. He's great. It kind of chronicles how all of the different gods from folklore were brought to America by somebody at some point, and then now they're all here. And it kind of hints at a potential war or something. There's, definitely don't like each other. It's interesting.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you know what? I think that about wraps it up. Unless you guys have anything else to add.
Only thing else I've got to add is that it finally is beginning to feel like the holiday season here. The tree is up, the presents are wrapped, We got family coming. We've got all kinds of cool stuff happening here. It's cold, but it's not snowing yet, so we'll see if that happens. I'm hoping everybody has a happy and safe travels. If you've heard anything about a train wreck near us recently, yeah, it's caused a lot of problems. Happily, I think the casualty count was stayed at 3, which is good, which is amazing.
Wow.
That wasn't due to concrete on the tracks, was it?
According to what I've heard, and again, I'm third hand here, they've confirmed that the train was going too fast around the corner.
All right. I saw that Antifa thing the other day, and I went, ugh.
I've heard people say that there's something on the track, and I heard somebody say there was one of those service trucks that are designed to go on the tracks, and all kinds of different things that may or may not be true because, of course,
I just
what
wanted
really
to
happened. They don't know, but they did say it was going 80 miles an hour around the corner, which is
they're not supposed to do that.
And the sad thing is that was the inaugural run of that new train.
So you know what else was the inaugural run? The Titanic.
The Titanic.
Oh,
Spruce Goose never got off the ground.
okay.
Yeah, inaugural runs, typically, if something's going to go really bad, it goes bad during the inaugural run.
I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for me laughing there, in case anybody feels sensitive about that. That was inappropriate. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am sorry.
Wabbit says he's the only one that in the Northwest that drives fast, so that's surprising.
Well, let's see. Oregonians go really fast. Don't know why. So I'm a slowpoke. I actually go the speed limit.
Did the conductor's name happen to be Casey Jones?
I don't know.
Because it clearly told him over and over, you better watch your speed. Okay. All right. On that note, I'm going to wrap things up. We will be back next Wednesday. Will be the last Wednesday of the year. So we will probably be doing some sort of best of 2017. If you guys have any thoughts, things that you want to submit as the best of in your mind, the best thing for our cord cutting streaming of 2017, send us a note. Also on the after that, we will be participating in the New Year's Eve streamathon here on Twitch, hosted by Ritual Misery. I believe we go on 6:30 Central, or is it 7:30 Central? I don't know. The official schedule should be coming out soon, but if anybody wants to hang out, we can probably have some time to do a call-in if anybody wanted to. We're figuring that out. Come back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. Directly following this stream, I believe WScottus1 will be hosting some Fortnite. So come on out and participate in that if you feel so inclined. And with that, I bid thee adieu. Thank you guys, and thank you, chat realm.
Good night.
Bye.
See you all next week.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
And WScottus1 will be using his computer, which he just upgraded. Man.